Hey, what's up hello guys, it's Mika aka Mika Reads, and welcome to today's video. First off, sorry there hasn't been like a lot of YouTube uploading. If you guys did not see my Instagram story, my car got broken into, or my cousin's car got broken into while I was in Maui for spring break, and I got my purse, my wallet, AirPods, literally everything that it was inside. My Coach Terry hobo bag got stolen because they broke through the car window. Here's what it looked like. Yeah, so basically I lost everything, so you know, was kind of in like a little depressive slump after that, because you know, I had just gotten that Coach Terry hobo bag. I had a YouTube video of unboxing it with my wallet. Like, I was depressed, but we're back. Some new things have happened. I got a Valaris tattoo right here actually. Anyways, welcome to today's video. We're gonna be doing my March monthly reading wrap up. There's not a lot of books. There's only 6 books. And you know, some people might be like, oh, that's like a lot, but I was aiming for like 12 books this month. But after everything that happened, I was kind of in a reading slump, so we only have 6 today, and I'm just gonna go out and say it now. They're all 5 stars. Like, I really need to get stricter on like my rating for these books. But honestly, like, if I enjoy it, if I love it, if I'm kicking my feet, screaming, giggling, crying over a book, it's usually 5 stars. So anyways, I'm just gonna go ahead and preface that now. They're all 5-star reads, but I am gonna be talking about my thoughts and opinions on these 6 books. So let's go ahead and get started. So for the first book that I finished in the month of March, we have Flawless by Elsie Silver. So 5 stars, and I am gonna say this has started my cowboy romance addiction. Like, I am obsessed. Like, I am hoping to get Heartless soon, which is the 2nd book of the series, so I can read about I think it's Beau's story? I don't know, but I absolutely love this book. Let me go ahead and say, like, the bantering, mwah, and just Rat Eaton. This book had me like kicking my feet. I was screaming, I was giggling, I was showing like my boyfriend scenes. I was like, babe, read this, look at this right here. Like, it, oh my god, it had me like on the edge of my seat, because you know, like, the tension between the two characters, the female main character and the male main character, the tension between them, oh my gosh. Like, I want to say this was a slow burn, because I want to say that, like, things didn't get pretty, like, let's say spicy till, like, the middle of the book. So I don't know if that counts as, like, slow burn or not, but, like, when it finally did happen with all of that tension buildup, so good. Like, overall, this was such like a fun little cowboy romance to read that I genuinely enjoyed it. And let me just go ahead and say the famous quote, save a horse, ride a cowboy. But anyways, like, a little, I guess, like, snippet into what Flawless is about. So obviously it's a cowboy romance, so I don't know if it's like exactly cowboy, but Rat Eaton, he's like a professional bull rider. And you know, so he has like an agent and everything, and then the female main character, which is Summer Hamilton, is his agent's daughter who gets sent to like watch over him, kind of like a babysitter. Like, let's not call it a babysitter, but she's pretty much his babysitter. So you know, like, it's the whole like agent client relationship between the two, and then just seeing the tension that, like, the sexual tension that builds up between them. So yeah, that's all I really gotta say about it. Like, it's a fun, fluffy romance to read. Like, if you want like that spicy, like, cowboy romance, definitely go ahead and give Flawless a read. I can't really say much about like the plot. Like, obviously the plot's good, but it's not like this is like a fantasy book where it's like, oh, there's this and this. Like, this is just a fun cowboy romance. So if you just want something fun, spicy, Flawless is the book for you. Moving on. So I could talk about these books like individually, but I think I'm going to show them all because obviously we all know the ratings, and then I'll go ahead and talk about like the series. But the next 4 books that I read was the Off-Campus series by Elle Kennedy. So The Deal, The Mistake, The Score, and The Goal. I read all 4 back to back, and that has honestly been super rare for me. I have a lot of series that I'm in the middle of that, like, I read the first book and then I moved on to another book. Like Flawless, for example. After Flawless, I moved on to this. Because honestly, I was only going to read The Deal and then continue with what I had on my March TBR. but after I read The Deal, I was completely hooked. Like, Elle Kennedy just has that way of writing where you're just hooked. Like, Garrett Graham, I had said this in my last monthly wrap-up that Icebreaker started my hockey romance. These have just fueled that hockey romance obsession even more. Like, the Briar U Hockey Boys, literally every single one of them, each of them, like just each of them, absolutely loved. So diving into the first book, we get The Deal, who the main characters are going to be Hannah Wells and Garrett Graham. And just honestly, guys, you guys need to read this book. It is so good. And I know, like, it's been out for a while, like it's been new. I'm just late to the game, and it's like, if you haven't read it, you guys need to read this. Like, the bantering, and it's a dual point of view, by the way, for like all of her books. So you get the point of view from the female main character and the male main character, and just seeing like each other's thoughts on like everything that's happening is so good. The bantering, the way the two get together, the whole like reason the two get together and how it stays and like how it sticks, it is literally, oh my god, I genuinely really enjoyed this book enough to go ahead and start the second book, aka The Mistake. So I really did like The Mistake. I do want to say that this might have been like my least favorite out of the four. Not that it wasn't like entertaining, it was entertaining. There were just like some parts where I was really like, okay, you know, but it is good. So this one is about the Garrett's best friend, Logan. So John Logan, and then his girl is, I forget her last name, it just says Grace. Okay, well, Grace. And so she's a freshman, and you know, they're like juniors, so there's like that little like age gap thing, but it was still pretty good. Like, seeing the way that the two like grew as people, from like, for example, like how John Logan was, and like seeing how he's willing to like change and what he does like for Grace is like really cute. Like, it was really fun being a part of that journey, and like seeing how the two of them grew together was amazing. And like, you know, I guess I don't even know what the word that you would use that for, but like trauma or like backstory, like John Logan's backstory and like what he's dealing with and like how it comes together at the end. I kind of teared up a little bit, like especially regarding his dad. That's all I'll say because I don't want to spoil it, but it just, I don't know, it was just heartwarming, but it wasn't like exactly my favorite. And then this was the second book, so we're gonna go on to the third book, which is probably my second favorite. So first of all, The Deal is my favorite, and I don't know if it's just because like it's the first one in the series, so it's like, you know, you have like that emotional attachment, or if it's just because of Garrett Graham. Yeah, it's probably just because of Garrett Graham. But anyways, third book is The Score, which is featuring about Dean DeLaurentis and Allie Hayes, which is this main character's best friend. So Allie is Hannah's best friend, and like, you know, seeing these two stories come together, they're literally polar opposites. Like, let me just say that now. In like a lot of ways, like let's say especially when it comes to relationship ways, they're opposites. So seeing how the two of them like come together was like shocking, and like the thrill of it, the ride. Like, if I didn't love Garrett Graham and Hannah, this would have been my favorite, like for sure. Allie's and Dean's story. There's also, let me just say this now, there's something super sad that happens in this book, and I'm not gonna spoil it, but I cried. I cried. Like, I was texting my friends like, and they're like, yeah, that happened. And I was like, what? So prepare yourself. If you're reading the story, just prepare yourself to probably shed some tears. Maybe you won't care, but like for me personally, I cried. You guys, The Score, love. I guess this also has like a lot of bantering, a lot of jokes. This one was really like a funny, like spicy romance, because there were a lot of funny moments. Like, let me just say, when you meet Dean's sister and when her and Allie are together, that like one scene, I was like laughing my ass off and I felt so bad, but it's so good. And then yeah, like I said, just the way that the two characters come together from being polar opposites, like how Dean, like he just changes for her. Like he really does change for her to be the man that she needs. And that right there is what makes this a 5 out of 5. Like, this guy is really ready and willing to like change who he is and his habits to be the type of man that Allie Hayes needs. And that right there is just, he was a man written by a woman. We'll just say that. And the last and final book of the off-campus series, just because there are more books, it's just like the Briar U series, and then I forget what the one after that is. Like, it has Hannah and Garrett's child, but this is just like the off-campus. Oh, but this isn't the last book. Sorry, I messed up. There's the Legacy, but Elle Kennedy herself, which is like right here, she told me to read the Legacy after I read Briar U because there's characters in Briar U. So I haven't read that one yet, but I do have it. Anyways, we have The Goal, and this one is featuring Tucker, John Tucker, and Sabrina James. And I don't... I guess this isn't really a spoiler because it does say it on the back, but this is a pregnancy trope in this. I'll just say that. Like, that, it says it on the back, so like it's not a spoiler. Like, it is a pregnancy trope. I'm not gonna lie, going into this I thought I was gonna hate the book. Like, I whenever I think of pregnancy tropes, I'm like, ooh. Like, you know, like I guess it's like a stigma around it, but I just don't like pregnancy tropes because, like, are you guys staying together because of a baby? Like, you know, like, it's like I want like that love romance. Like, I don't want people to like be forced to stay together just because they have a child. But this pregnancy trope, like in this book, was done right. Like, it was just done right. Like, I actually genuinely love this book, and by the end of it I had baby fever. Like, I had severe baby fever. Like, I was texting my friends like, guys, I want a baby. Like, imagine having like a little like mini best friend. Like, the female main character in this book, Sabrina and Dean, have like a history, not necessarily like a dating history, but they're like, let's just say, academic rivals. So seeing like those two and like the problems that causes for like Tucker and her, I was infuriated at like some parts because of Dean and like everything. I was like, really, Dean? Like, you're gonna make me hate you. Infuriated me. So there's that aspect. But then how it just all comes together, how it gets resolved by the end, was really, really touching and really heartwarming. Like, I just have baby fever, man. Like, this was like a nice way, I want to say, to wrap up like everyone's like getting to the end of everyone's like career and like graduation before they go into Legacy. It was overall just like super sweet. And I am gonna apologize again if my like descriptions, summaries, and thoughts and opinions on these books are bad and I'm very repetitive. It's just like what I have to say about them. Like, I genuinely like just enjoyed the book. I enjoyed the story. It was fun to read about the romance, fun to read about the spice, and just like how these two people grew together in the stories. Like, you know, it felt like I was a part of them. Like, I was a part of their lives. Like, I was there with them, going through like everything with them. And that's like what's touching to me, is like when a story is written that way, where you feel like you're in their world, you're friends with these characters, and you're going along their life with them. That's what makes it a good book. And just like, you know, Tucker had his life planned, like what he was gonna do after this, after college. He was gonna move back. So, you know, being a dad, like, he always wanted a family, but being a dad at the age of 22 probably wasn't on his bucket list. Like, it wasn't in his plan. So seeing how like he adapts and he changes, and just like what he does for Sabrina and for like their soon-to-be kid, it's just amazing. It's wonderful. Like, the way that he's stepping up to be a father and everything, 10 out of 10. Like, that's what I love about this pregnancy trope, is like, you know, he's not blaming her. He's not like, oh, this is all your fault, like, I didn't want to have a kid, you gotta abort that. Like, he's like, it's her choice and I just want to be there to support her. And that is what a man should be, and that is why I actually genuinely liked this pregnancy trope in this series. So if there's one thing that you should take away from what I said about these 4 books, is that you should read it. The Off-Campus series was a fun, little spicy comedic hockey romance series, and I genuinely really loved it. And first of all, I did not say this when I was talking about it, but like you see all of these characters in each book, and like the couples like in each book, like they're all interconnected because obviously, you know, they're all best friends, they like some of them live together. So just like seeing this whole story and being in the Briar world was amazing. If you guys were thinking about reading it, or if it's on like your TBR, it's just sitting on your shelf, this is your sign, go read the off-campus series. Okay, and so now going into the last and final book that I finished in the month of March, Shatter Me! I absolutely love this book. So for Valentine's Day, my boyfriend got me this little book bouquet right here, and I think I showed this in my like my March TBR video, but he got me this bouquet and he got me a Shatter Me bouquet. So I was like, you know, it's time to read the book. I finished this in, I want to say, 2 days. Like, I was out of my reading slump. Absolutely loved this book. Like, I am starting the second book next. The only reason I haven't started it yet is because I started the audiobook of Lightlark in the month of March. I want to say like the middle of March. I was just wanted something to listen to while I went jogging because I couldn't read while jogging. I can read while I walk, just not jogging. And I haven't finished it yet. I'm still listening to it. It's probably like the longest it's gonna take me to finish a book, just because I'm mainly listening to the audiobook. I've just been like really busy these past couple weeks, guys, so you know, I'll take any chance I get. But once I finish Lightlark, I am starting the second book, which is Unravel Me, because holy shit, this is probably in my top 3 series. And I was really scared going into this book because I know there's a lot of people who are like in their videos where it's like books that I thought were gonna be a 5-star, and it's like Shatter Me, or books I DNF'd, Shatter Me, or book talk books that people said were 5 stars but I hated it, Shatter Me. So I was like, oh, there's, sorry, that was my boyfriend's alarm. So anyways, there was like that little part of me that was like really scared, like, oh, I really hope I don't hate this book. Like, my boyfriend got it for Valentine's Day, like I want to love this book. I was scared for nothing. I absolutely loved Shatter Me. And I made a TikTok recently because right now I really love Adam Kent, and like Aaron Warner is kind of like giving me the ick right now where he thinks he owns her. But everyone's like, girl, just keep reading. And you know, obviously I want to keep reading because everything I've heard about Shatter Me is Aaron Warner this, Aaron Warner that. Aaron Warner is the best book talk boyfriend. And I'm like, but he's the villain right now. Why don't we love Adam Kent? And everyone's like, this is a canon event, just keep reading. So I'm so excited for the ride that Shatter Me series is gonna like put me through. And if you guys can already tell, this is a 5-star. Like, I loved this book so much. The plot, the writing, the changes, the character development, the world building. Chef's kiss. I don't want to say the author's name because I don't know how to pronounce it, but it's right here. She is a god at writing. And like, you know, some people going into this book, please keep in mind that the writing, the writing, not gonna lie, when I first started the book, I was like, this feels like my 5-year-old cousin wrote it. And I did not mean that in a bad way, but like she puts a little note in the beginning of the book where it says like, dear reader, the strike-throughs in Shatter Me books are intentional. The writing in the series is occasionally as erratic as its main character and serves as a visual representation of the chaos in Juliet's mind. So the reason why the writing is kind of like chaotic, there's strike-throughs, repetitive, it's because it's meant to be like the visual representation of her mind. And as the series goes through, you see the strike-throughs to get less and less, the repetitiveness to fade away, hyperboles to fade away, and it goes into normal writing. And that's to show like the change in the growth of the main character's mind. Like, as the writing changes, it's going along with Juliet as she grows, as she evolves, like how her mind goes from being in this chaos place to like, you know, just being a mind. So that was really cool. It kind of bugged me at first because I like, you know, I was just getting out of a reading slump and I wanted to like read something that would get me out of it, and I was like 9 chapters in and I was like, how much longer is this gonna go on? But once, like, you know, things started to speed up a bit, and it just like, we dived like right in, and the writing and like the writing style started to evolve as she evolved. I was like, holy shit, this this was just, it was gold. This was so good. Like, I beg you, give this book a chance. Like, if you're like me and you had a hard time getting through like the beginning, just stick it out, soldier. Stick it through, because it'll get better and you will be hooked. Like, it is so good. And like I said, like, this is like a really good fantasy series. Like, I'm like at a loss for words, because I'm like trying to like describe it, but like no words can describe it. But just like the development in all areas, the writing, the characters, the story, like the relationships between these characters, the dynamics, and just learning about a lot of this world. Like, the world building was great. Like, this is a perfect like dystopian fantasy novel. Like, I would have never probably picked this book up if it weren't for like the like very few people who are like, this is my favorite series ever. Like, one of my friends, Gabby, like loves the Shatter Me series. So I was like, okay, I feel like we have similar reading styles, I have to give it a chance. So I stuck it through, and I'm glad I did, because I am so hot. Guys, you don't understand. It leaves off, like, not necessarily in a cliffhanger, but kind of like in a cliffhanger, where it's like, oh my god, you need to read more, find out what happens. And so I'm trying to speed through Lightlark, but I also absolutely love Lightlark, but I want to finish the series so bad. Like, it anyways, I won't bore you with more of like my screaming and obsessing over this book. Go ahead and read it. You will not regret it. I'm telling you right now, just give it a chance, because 10 out of 10, 5 out of 5, it was so good. With that said, that had finished up my March reading wrap up. So we had the 6 books, Flawless, Off Campus series, and Shatter Me. Honestly, I think for being in a reading slump and like, you know, having like midterms and like not being able to read for like 2 weeks, this is pretty good. This was a pretty decent like amount of reading that I did, and I genuinely loved all of these books. And I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I promise my April reading wrap up, I will be more stricter with the books that I'm reading, and I will try to like develop a new rating system, but no promises. They might all be 5 stars. But anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I will see you guys next time. I think my next video is gonna be my vlog of when I went to go get the tattoo done. Here's a photo of what the tattoo looks like, by the way, since I know it might not be the clearest here. It's just been sitting on my hard drive. I just never had the motivation to edit it after getting robbed, so. But that will probably be the next video I put out. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see you guys next time. Bye!